What if I told you there was a team in the American that I don't think anybody's really talking about that could win the American, make the college football playoff if things went their way this year? They never lose at home, almost ever. They have a returning quarterback. They have three of their offensive linemen back. They have two key contributors at receiver back. They're going to have a great offense, clearly. And that nobody is talking about this team. What have I told you that? Sounds like an ESPN 30 for 30, doesn't it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, and I'll tell you who it is in a second. First off, you're listening to the You Think You Know Sports podcast. I appreciate you tuning in. Obviously, you found this episode, whether that was on Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify, my website, youthinkyouknowsports.com. Maybe you heard about us on TikTok, hit my link tree and ended up on one of those links. However you got here, it's a fairly new podcast. We're going around the country doing a podcast, a write-up, videos on every single team in the country, all 138 FBS schools. And I hope that you'll join us, man. I hope you'll hit subscribe, and we'll come back and listen to some more of these. We're going to get into some in-depth game analysis when we get to the season. Have over 10,000 followers on the TikTok page that launched this entire thing. So we appreciate you being here. So who is this mystery team in the American? It is the UTSA Roadrunners. And I feel pretty good about this team being a contender in the American this year in 2026. They were 7-6 last year, 4-4 in the American. They have not had a losing record under head coach Jeff Traylor. They also haven't had a losing season since 2019, which Traylor took over after that. He's 53-26 at UTSA. But here's the stat nugget that most people who only watch their team or only cheer for Power 4 schools or whatever, they only pay attention to the big dogs in college football, which is fine. Traylor's 25-1 at the Alamo Dome in conference play. It is very hard to beat the Roadrunners at their place. Almost impossible. Last year, they averaged just under 35 points per game, number 14 in the country. They averaged 417 yards per game, number 25 in the country. Completely balanced on offense, 51% pass, 49% run. Opponents scored too much, though. Almost 30 points a game, 90th worst in the country. They gave up 375 yards per game. That's pretty much right at the national average. They were penalized way too much on offense, about 7 a game last year, and over 70 yards of penalties. So they've got to get better there. But there are a lot of things to like about this Roadrunner team. Owen McCown is back at quarterback. He completed 67% of his passes last year, nearly 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, and 7 picks. Those are great numbers. Anybody who listens to me knows that I always begin it by saying this, but I love the deep dive analysis into quarterbacks and the players. He was 14-39 on deep balls last year with 6 touchdowns and a pick. In a clean pocket, he completed 73% of his passes, 25 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, right? So if you left him in a clean pocket, he was going to dissect your defense. It was not going to be good. Again, almost 3 out of every 4 passes completed, 25 touchdowns, 3 picks in a clean pocket. He would pick you apart. Under pressure, that completion percentage dropped to 47% with 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So, Owen McCown being back is huge. One of the better quarterbacks in the American, probably top 2, top 3, based on what we know going into the year and some of the teams that have had to change their quarterbacks, right? Like Byron Brown's no longer there. Caden Hauser is no longer there, right? They're different guys. Jake Retzlaff is no longer there. So it's a very different looking American when it comes to the quarterback situation. They lost their leading receiver, but David Amador is back and A.J. Wilson are back. They combined for 86 catches last year, over 900 yards of receiving yards. They've also got DJ Allen back. He had another 20 catches last year. Miles Campbell has come over from Florida A&M. He had 22 catches last year with the Rattlers. Will Henderson made 2 starts last year. He had 866 rushing yards at running back. He's going to be a key contributor on this running game and in this offense. Look, I don't think there's any question that UTSA is going to be able to move the football. Anybody who's questioning that needs to go watch the Roadrunners play, because they're not going to have an issue trying to get up and down the field. Not going to happen. But the defense is the question, right? I mean, they've only got two guys back on defense. Defensive lineman Ty Leonard and Owen Pewee are both coming back on that side of the football. Listen, I hope I didn't butcher Owen's name. I tried to look up how to pronounce it and get it right. I don't know if it's Pewee. So the UTSA fan, help me out, because I Googled it. I tried to watch some interviews on how you pronounce it. I tried to find it on UTSA's media stuff. Have not found it. But he'll be back. He had 31 tackles last year. Leonard had 16 tackles and 2.5 sacks. Cam Cooper is also back. He got injured early last year. He's a linebacker. In the secondary, they've got Assad and Mohammed Chapman, who are brothers. So there's a lot of working pieces. They've got to figure this out on defense, right? Only 35% of their snaps from defense last year come back, according to CBS Sports. It was 55% on offense, which is 21st best. So offense, not a question. Defense is a huge question when it comes to this season. There is one thing that really stands out to me on this schedule that I don't like. Twice, they play 3 out of 4 games on the road. So they have 2 different stretches where they end up playing 3 of 4 on the road. They play at Texas State and at Texas after playing Texas Rio Grande Valley in the opener. So we'll find out a lot about this UTSA team playing a rival in Texas State, then playing Texas. But then Colorado State comes to UTSA. Then they go to Rice. So there's 3 road games, Texas State, Texas, and Rice. They go home to play South Florida October 8th, 5 days after the Rice game. Then they play Navy 9 days later. Both of those are at home. Maybe against the best 2 teams in the American, right? Along with UTSA, maybe Army. It's a wide open conference this year. But South Florida and Navy back-to-back is pretty hard. The next week they play Tulane. So they may play literally, South Florida, Navy, and Tulane back-to-back. That's rough. October 24th is the game against the Green Wave. Then they play at Florida Atlantic on November 5th. Host North Texas, then they play at UAB. So again, that other 3 out of 4 was at Tulane, at Florida Atlantic. Home game North Texas, then at UAB. Then they finish the year with Tulsa. So overall, I think UTSA is a team that not enough people are talking about. I keep seeing preseason magazines and prognosticators listing them kind of in the average spot, about in the 70s, I'm not sure that any team in the American is going to be as good as some of the teams last year. But I would be surprised if this team isn't a little bit better than maybe being the 70th or 80th kind of best team in the country this year. I guess we'll see. I'd love to hear from you guys, either somewhere on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you find my content. I hope you'll subscribe to this podcast, but I'd also love to hear what your thoughts are on the Roadrunners. Are they going to be a surprise this year in the American, or do I think too highly of this team? Let me know, guys, and I can't wait for the next podcast. We're going to get back into the Big Ten. We have some of the major teams in the Big Ten coming up. We've got Ohio State. We've got Penn State coming up. We've got Oregon coming up. All of those teams are coming up very, very soon on future episodes. We're also about to start diving into the Big 12. So come hang out with us. Appreciate you for listening, and I'll see you on the next episode.